Despite having orders to remove certain immigrants from the country, Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Customs and Border Protection have designated some places as sensitive locations. This means these places should generally be avoided and require either prior approval from an appropriate supervisory official or exigent circumstances necessitating immediate action. Despite the policy, immigrants are concerned they may be targeted by going to nonprofits like Casa de Misericordia or the Holding Institute in need of help. Women facing domestic violence at home look to Casa de Misericordia for help, but the process requires an escort by a law enforcement agent to the shelter's secure site. Recently, immigrants are hesitating in calling.
They're really afraid.
Sister Rosemary, the executive director, says since the inauguration of the new president, they've seen less women calling and greater hesitation once they do.
We want to make sure they're safe. And they say, well, I can't call the police. Or if they're in the county, I can't call the sheriff's office. And we say, well, they'll help? No, they'll call immigration.
Over at the Holding Institute, a similar situation is unfolding.
There's a general fear amongst the Hispanic population.
Immigrants, documented or not, come to them for health services, continuing education, emergency shelter. But lately, they've been coming with questions.
I don't have any paperwork. I'm undocumented. I have a temporary residency. And am I subject to deportation?
Both nonprofits are working with the Mexican consulate in informing people of their basic rights.
Everyone retains some measure of rights regardless of where you're at.
You don't have to sign anything. Ask for help. Call Casa de Misericordia. Tell them that you want to come to the shelter. You're a victim of domestic violence.
Both of these organizations are faith-based, and they also both work with ICE, mainly to receive people who ICE refers to them. But some wonder whether this relationship with ICE might mean their safety is compromised. As per federal policy, it dictates ICE should avoid going to sensitive locations like places of worship, churches, schools, funerals, weddings, or even marches. However, they may go to these sensitive places if they have prior approval or if it's deemed necessary. Smith says this hasn't happened at Holding.
The Holding Institute Community Center is a community center that continues to remain a safe place.
And over at Casa de Misericordia, there's a plan they could put in place.
Oh no, they would never come here to ask us any information. And if they ever do, we have an emergency plan to put in order. We won't open the door. And they're not going to do that.
Because of what's been seen with the recent deportation operation across the country earlier this month, immigrants are still being advised to have a plan in case of an emergency. Sister Rosemary advises this plan include whether a power of attorney is needed to appoint a guardian, appointing someone to pick children up from school, or make sure children receive all their vaccinations. Reporting for KGNS, I'm Valerie Gonzalez. Back to you.